The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the morning update here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Presented by RBW Agricultural Farm Equipment Sales, home of the rancher, hydraulic, cattle baron, heritage, and legacy cattle chutes. RBW Agricultural carries curated lines of new livestock handling equipment, front-end loader attachments, and is the #1 dealer for Ironcraft FlexWing rotary cutters in the United States. Hey, they care about the safety of not only their customers, but their customers' livestock, bringing efficient equipment to the market, making high-quality equipment affordable for more farmers and ranchers, and the integrity of their words and their conduct. You can find them in Bolivar and Moberly, Missouri, as well as online at rbwag.com. Hey, it is April the 15th, and on this date, and we'll get to some more of this, but on this date in 1912, the British luxury liner RMS Titanic sunk in the North Atlantic off Newfoundland just over 2.5 hours after hitting an iceberg on its maiden voyage. Over 1,500 people died. Only 710 survived. On this date in 1865, Abraham Lincoln died after being shot by John Wilkes Booth at Ford's Theater the previous evening. Andrew Johnson was sworn in as the 17th president hours later. And on this date in 1947, Jackie Robinson, baseball's first black major league player of the modern era, made his official debut with the Brooklyn Dodgers on opening day at Ebbets Field. The Dodgers defeated the Boston Braves 5-3. And in 1955, Ray Kroc opened the very first franchise McDonald's restaurant in Des Plaines, Illinois. Again, we're certainly glad that you have tuned in here to the morning update presented by the Bank of Billings. Bank of Billings established 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. We'll get to the high school baseball scoreboard here. First off, it was Adrian over Odessa, 6-5. Ashgrove defeats Diamond 3-2 in a conference game. Forsyth over Aurora 4-3. Forsyth now 11-3 on the season. Bakersfield defeats Winona 18-2. Was Valley Park over Bayless 13-1. Bloomfield over Bell City 12-11. California defeats Bell 11-3. Bernie over Woodland 6-5. Blue Springs South over Grain Valley 6-5. It was Winfield over Bowling Green 12-0. Lone Jack defeats Butler 17-0. Lone Jack 14-2 on the season. Mid Buchanan over Cameron 9-2. Ozark over Carl Junction 6-0. Wellington Napoleon over Carrollton 4-2. It's Caruthersville over Malden 16-0. Kearney defeats Central St. Joe 15-4. Again, these are baseball scores from last night. Climax Springs over Pleasant Hope 13-3 in the Wheatland baseball tournament. Eldon 11-0 over Colcamp. Cooters defeats Gideon 5-2. Was Bismarck over Couch 20-2. Crystal City defeats Bishop DeBerg 4-3. Was Fordland over Dadeville 8-5. Dexter defeats Richland 19-0. Lafayette over East Buchanan 8-3. East Newton defeats Pierce City 10-6. East Prairie over Holcomb 13-3. Saxony Lutheran over Ellington 32-11. West Nottoway 18-3 over Falls City, Nebraska. Father Tolton defeats Lutheran St. Charles 12-2. It was Francis Howell Central over St. Dominic 2-1. Francis Howell North over Pattonville 13-1. Fort Zumwalt West 9-2 over North Point. Glasgow over Northeast Cairo 6-3. Marshfield defeats Glendale 5-1. Marshfield now 11-5 on the season. Green City over Newtown Harris 12-2. Halfway defeats Hermitage 18-0, also in the Wheatland tournament. Hazelwood West over St. Charles 9-5. Afton defeats Herculaneum 9-2. Pacific over Herman 14-0. Hillcrest over Parkview 14-4. Seneca defeats Hollister 10-2 I'm sorry, 5-0. Seneca now 10-2. Walnut Grove over Humansville 7-5, also in the Wheatland tournament. Hurley defeats Wablo 13-3. Osceola over Hurley. All these are both in the Wheatland tournament, 6-4. Jasper over Macaulay Catholic 10-0. King City over North Andrews 17-2. Jeff City beats Kirksville 12-0. Lindbergh over Kirkwood 13-2. Knob Noster over Midway 6-2. Ladue defeats Parkway South 9-8. Lafayette over Lexington 11-1. Lakeland defeats Skyline 4-1. Again, these are high school baseball scores from last night. Lamar now 9-0 on the season. They defeat Southwest Washburn 17-2. Conway over Lakeway 23-2. Stover defeats Leeton 10-2. It was Blue Valley Northwest over Liberty 6-3. Ava defeats Mountain View Liberty 4-3. Liberty Wentzville over Parkway West 3-1. Lockwood over Greenfield 10-0. And then Lockwood defeats Liberal 6-1. St. Francis Borgia over Lutheran South 7-3. Marion C. Early over Max Creek 4-3. Lynn County 15-0 over Macon County. Seymour defeats Mansfield 6-2. Brentwood over Maplewood. Richmond Heights 18-3. Barstow over Maranatha out of Shawnee, Kansas 25-10. Maysville defeats Marceline 12-7. Silax over Mark Twain 17-5. Marquette defeats Chaminade 12-7. Lathrop over Maryville 10-5. McClure defeats Gateway 15-0. St. Mary's Southside over McClure North 2-1. Orion defeats Meadow Heights 10-1. That was DeSoto over Melville 10-0. MICDS defeats Veritas Christian Academy 10-0. Polo over Milan 5-2. Moberly defeats Chillicothe 4-0. Stratford over Monette 5-1. Stratford 11-4 on the season. Community over Monroe City 7-2. It was Neosho now 13-2 on the season as they defeat Mount Vernon 11-1. Nevada over Bolivar 13-12 in a back and forth game. Bolivar held at least a 4-run lead twice in that contest and couldn't hang on. New Franklin over Smithton 13-1. Union over New Haven 13-1. These are baseball scores from last night brought to you by Bambino's Italian Cafe at East Battlefield in Lone Pine. Hey, join us every Monday for our quarterback club during the football season, tip-off club during the basketball season, and currently we are in baseball and the leadoff club. We have 4 more luncheons left. It's only $10 a meal. Come in. We had a packed house yesterday, 11 coaches, four collegiate coaches representing the colleges in Springfield, and then 7 area high school baseball coaches. Come by and join us. 11:30, food is ready. Coaches begin speaking at noon. And if you mention you heard it right here, if you're the first one this coming Monday to mention you heard it right here, hey, I'll pay for your lunch. New Heights Christian Academy over Miller 7-2. Iberia defeats Newburgh 28-0. Was Mexico over North Callaway 15-2. Winnetonka defeats North Kansas City 16-5. Northeast Kansas City 13-12 over Guadalupe Center's Charter. Northeast Nottoway over North Nottoway 19-8. Northwest Cedar Hill 3-1 over North County. It was Oak Park 14-11 over Fort Osage. Oakville defeats Lafayette Wildwood 3-1. Osage over Richland 12-10. It was Owensville over St. Clair 4-0. Palmyra 5-0 over Unity out of Mendon, Illinois. Park Hill defeats Blue Springs 3-2. Lee Summit West 7-5 over Park Hill South. Plato over Eminence 15-0. Brooklyn out of Brooklyn, Arkansas defeats Poplar Bluffs 15-9. Kennett over Portageville 8-1. Eugene defeats Prairie Home 11-0. Putnam County over Brookfield 7-0. Raytown South defeats Raytown 8-3. Warrensburg over Richmond 5-3. Staley 10-3 over Rockhurst. Was Lincoln College Prep 19-1 over Ruskin. Russellville defeats Lincoln 15-5. Salem over Kabul 18-3. Salisbury defeats Paris 14-1. Crestridge over Santa Fe 29-14. Kenneth Hornersville, they shut out Clarkton 10-0. With Sherwood over Versailles 9-7. Slater defeats Concordia 3-2. Smithville over Platte County 11-5. St. Elizabeth defeats South Callaway 9-0. Trenton over South Harrison 8-3. South Holt defeats DeKalb 3-1. South Iron over Naylor 2-1. Sparta shuts out Bradleyville 15-0. Clever over Spokane 10-9. Fairgrove defeats Springfield Catholic 3-1. Fairgrove 13-1 on the season. Sullivan 21-8 over St. James Valley Catholic defeats St. Pius X out of Festus 9-0. Chaffee over St. Vincent 8-4. STEM Academy 16-1 over University City. Crocker defeats Stoutland 7-2. Sweet Springs over Pilot Grove 7-6. Willow Springs defeats Thayer 10-7. Vianney over CBC 8-7. Vienna over Otterville 7-5. Warsaw defeats Buffalo 14-3. North Shelby 23-5 over Westran. Wheaton 19-4 over Northeast Vernon County. Priory over Whitfield 9-4. Windsor defeats Montrose 15-0. Festus over Windsor Imperial 10-0. Winnetonka over North Kansas City 16-5. Bakersfield defeats Winona 18-2. And Grandview over Wyandotte, Kansas 15-0. Scores brought to you by Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, sponsoring our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks male and female athletes of the week throughout the year. Hey, if you've got an athlete of the week, hey, drop us a line. Send us an email at Missouri Sports Network at gmail.com. You can also reach out on our social networks with Facebook, Twitter, or at our YouTube channel and drop us a note. We will see the notes. They'll pop up right here on the screen, right in front of me during any live show. And yes, we are live. It's April 15th. It's 7:32. If you got to be somewhere at 8 o'clock, you better be getting on the road. And hey, as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Hang on for just a second. We'll come back with soccer and softball. And on this day in history, on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Back after this.
Hi, I'll have the avocado toast minus the avocado.
So, toast.
Yeah. Everything is so expensive these days.
Hey, Chevy gets it. That's why they're keeping prices down to earth, like on the most affordable EV in America. A super strong and capable Chevy truck.
And a high-tech Chevy SUV.
Why is Chevy making affordable vehicles connected by OnStar? It's so together we can do more.
We believe banking should make your life greater. It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support for life. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Hey, welcome back to the morning update here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com. And hey, do us a favor, go to our YouTube page and subscribe. Go to our Facebook page at Missouri Sports Network and give us a like or follow us on Twitter at Scoreboard Guy or at Missouri_sports, and you'll be well aware of all of our shows. We're beginning year 2 of Where Are They Now Wednesdays. We also have the Missouri Milestones up on the page where you can go and look at more than 1,800 high school athletes across the state of Missouri who scored 1,000 points in their career. And if you've got someone to add to that list, hey, drop us an email at MissouriSportsNetwork@gmail.com. On the girls' soccer scoreboard from last night, it was Boonville over California 6-1. Capital City shuts out Blair Oak 6-0. Cap City now 8-1 on the season. Father Tolton over Camdenton 2-0. It was Washington over Festus 4-0. Fort Osage shuts out William Chrisman 6-0. Lutheran South and Fox played to a draw at 3-3. Fort Zumwalt North 3-2 over Duchesne. Hillsboro and Maplewood Richmond Heights also played to a draw at 1 apiece. Knob-Noster defeats Lutheran out of Kansas City 1-0. It was Lakeway over Battle 3-0. Lighthouse Christian defeats Lebanon 8-0. Park Hill over Lee Summit North 2-1. Lone Jack over Warrensburg 3-2. MICDS 7-0 over Pattonsville. New Heights Christian Academy defeats Cassville 1-0. It's Oak Park over North Kansas City 1-0 in overtime. Incarnate Word blanks Notre Dame St. Louis 2-0. It was Orchard Farm over St. Pius X out of Festus 3-1. Osage defeats New Covenant Academy 1-0 in double overtime. It's Pembroke Hill over Park Hill 3-2, and that was in single overtime. Collegiate School of Med Bioscience 1-0 over Rittenhour. Rockbridge defeats Jeff City 4-0. Savannah over Benton 8-0. Smith Cotton over Smithton 6-1. St. Dominic defeats Nerix Hall 1-0. St. Francis Borgia 7-0 over Eugene. Villa Duchesne over St. Louis Christian 6-1. Troy Buchanan over Holt 2-0. Fort Zumwalt South over Ursuline Academy 5-0. And Wright City defeats Owensville 5-0 as well. Here on the Great Southern Bank softball scoreboard from last night, 12-6 Bakersfield defeats Summersville. Billings over Blue Eye 17-5. Butler over Lincoln 6-5. Kennett over Campbell 31-0. Kennett now 16-3 on the season. Caruthersville defeats Campbell 15-5. East Prairie over New Madrid County Central 15-8. Lamar defeats Diamond 11-9. Lamar 8-4 on the season. Diamond now 16-2. Bourbon over Dixon 14-10. Bernie defeats Ellington 16-0. Meadow Heights over Grandview out of Hillsboro 36-26. And yes, you heard that correctly. Licking defeats Steelville 11-1. Malden over Naylor 17-2. Midway defeats Golden City 19-1. Ava over Mount Grove 15-5. Jasper defeats New Heights Christian Academy 22-9. Norwood over Fordland 3-2. Was Mount Vernon over Pierce City 13-0. Mount Vernon 14-5 on the season. Seneth Hornersville 14-4 over Scott City. Oak Ridge defeats Shawnee out of Wolf Lake, Illinois 6-0. Oak Ridge 11-1 on the season. Skyline still undefeated 15-0 as they defeat Colcamp 15-0. Bourbon over Stoutland 9-7. Tipton defeats St. Paul Lutheran 11-8. Valley Catholic over Kingston 12-0. Verona defeats Wheaton 18-2. Versailles over Windsor 11-1. Warsaw defeats Lakeland 18-3. Willow Springs over Salem 11-0. Scores brought to you by Doak Propane and the Bank of Billings. Doak Propane for all your propane needs. See the folks at Doak. It's about time to start thinking about, hey, getting some propane for that barbecue grill. The days are getting longer and they're getting a lot nicer and warmer outside. Hey, for all your propane needs, Polk County and surrounding counties, see the folks at Doak. And we did a little bit of On This Day in History earlier in the show with the Titanic. Jackie Robinson and some others. But this day in history brought to you by Central Bank of the Ozarks. On this day in 1904, the New York Highlanders Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Jack Chesbro won his first of 41 wins that season in a complete game 8-2 win over the Boston Americans at Hilltop Park in New York City. In 1910, the United States President William Howard Taft begins a tradition of throwing out the first pitch of the opening day of baseball season. In 1917, Chicago White Sox pitcher Eddie Seacott no-hits the St. Louis Browns 11-0. 2 years later, he would be banned from baseball after being involved in throwing the 1919 World Series. In 1925, the first regular season Chicago Cubs baseball game was called on radio, WGN, by Quinn Ryan as the Cubs defeat Pittsburgh 8-2. Quinn Ryan set the stage for baseball on the radio. His father was a prominent Chicago area attorney and judge, Joseph Ryan, who lived from 1870 to 1915. Quinn attended Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois. In college, Quinn was active in writing and producing theatrical performances. His first journalism job was at the Chicago Tribune. He became a pioneering voice on radio broadcasting. On April 14th, 1925, Quinn became the first ever to do a live radio broadcast of a field baseball game, opening day for the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley. Also in 1925, Quinn did a radio broadcast of Scope's Monkey Trial. He was the first to broadcast a circus. He wrote children's book, Joey the Littlest Clown. On this date, 1955, 26-year-old catcher outfielder Elston Howard becomes the first African-American to play for the New York Yankees. In 1964, Sandy Koufax throws his ninth complete game without allowing a walk in a 4-0 shutout win over the St. Louis Cardinals on opening day. That Cardinals lineup that day, Julian Javier led off and played second base. Dick Grote was at shortstop. Bill White at first base. Charlie James was the left fielder. Kenny Boyer was at third base. Carl Warwick was in right field. Curt Flood was a center fielder on that team. And batting eighth, the catcher, Bob Uecker. Starting pitcher that day was Ernie Broglio, who would later this season be traded for Lou Brock. In 1969, the first regular season Major League Baseball game outside of the U.S. as the Montreal Expos defeat the St. Louis Cardinals 8-7. In 1974, Gary Player wins the second of his 3 Masters titles, 2 strokes ahead of Dave Stockton and Tom Weiskopf. 2002, the 66th Masters, Tiger Woods becomes the third player to win back-to-back Masters. On this date in history, birthdays, 1941, Pete Rose, who we lost last year. And in 1966, both Dave Justice and Greg Maddux were born. On this date, in Missouri high school sports, in 2016, Max Creek baseball player Chandler Carlton gets 6 hits in a 7-inning game versus Climax Springs. And on this date in 2018, Maryville girls soccer sets a record for most goals in a half with 19 goals in one half. They also set the record for most goals in a game, which is also 19, as they went scoreless in the second half. Hey, you've been listening to and watching the Missouri Sports Network Morning Update here on the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com. Hey, hope everybody has a great day. Hey, be safe out there, everybody. Hey, do me a favor. Hey, forgive somebody today. It's not going to change the past.